Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. This is our fifth and final lesson of Term 3 together, and the lesson focuses on slope-intercept form. It is due no later than June 17th at midnight. So the first few activities are just looking at Google Slides to review the big ideas over the last month. And so your first big idea was the idea that a function means every input has only one or a unique output. Your second big idea that you looked at was the idea of a linear versus nonlinear function and looking at the representations of a linear function in a graph, table, and equation. The next big idea that you explored was slope or rate of change and identifying the types of slope and then actually calculating the slope using a formula, a graph, and a table. And then finally, last week, you looked at the idea of initial value, which is your y-intercept, and I introduced the concept of slope-intercept form, which is one of the ways to write a linear equation. And as the name implies, when an equation is written in slope-intercept form, you are given the slope and the y-intercept. So this last lesson of your 8th grade experience will have you explore slope-intercept form in more detail. So the activities all focus on slope-intercept form this week. So the first thing you're going to do is watch a video about graphing when you are given the slope and a point. And then you are going to go to IXL and you're going to actually practice graphing the slope and a point to graph the line of an equation. So I'm going to look at this first example with you and just model it so that after you watch the video on this Google Slides, if you still have questions, you can go back and look at the video that I'm creating now a second time. So this says graph a line that has a slope of 3 and includes the point 0, 7. So remember that slope is change in y over change in x, or your rise over run. So if you don't see a number in the denominator, you assume it is the number 1. So we're going to start with the point 0, 7, and your coordinate is x comma y, just like in the alphabet, x comes before y. So I'm going to start on my y-axis, which is my initial value or my y-intercept. I'm going to plot my first point, which is 0, 7. Now, a slope of 3 means rise 3 and then run 1. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 into the right one. And I have graphed that line, and then when you're all done, you'll just submit it and try the second activity, the second line. All right, when you're done reviewing this concept, you will go on to the next activity. And that second activity is actually slope-intercept form. And in this, you're going to go through and you're going to watch the video on how to graph when you are given the equation in slope-intercept form. And it's very similar to the activity that I modeled on IXL because your B is your y-intercept, which is 0, comma, whatever that initial value is. And then again, you're going to be using the slope to help you generate a second point to graph. So when you're done watching the video, you're going to go on to quizzes and try the 8 questions there. And then the next activity will be graphing lines by creating a table. And this always works for any function. You can just substitute in the input values to get the output values. So again, you're going to watch a video and try this activity on IXL, where you'll complete a table and then graph the linear function. And then the fourth activity will be looking at a line and actually going through and identifying M and B, and then plotting the y-intercept and the slope. So on this one, you will be given the equation in slope-intercept form, and you will be practicing graphing. There are only 4 questions for you to try on Khan Academy. And what I love about Khan Academy, if you have difficulty, they prompt you to watch that video again. So give that a try, please. And then the Last new activity will be writing an equation of a line given the actual graph of the line, which means you'll need to identify where that line crosses the y-axis. And I'm just enlarging this for you to take a look at the example on the Google slide. So in this case, this is one of the problems that you might be prompted to try. To write the equation in slope-intercept form, you would actually take a look here and you say, well, the y-intercept is 1. That's the initial value where the function crosses the y-axis. The point or ordered pair would be 0, 1. So your b is 1. And then from your initial value, you would count up and go to the right. So rise to run, and that would be 1/2. So you would substitute your b in and your m into the equation. So in this example right here to the left, the equation of this line is y equals 1/2 x plus 1. So you're going to watch the video here, and then you're going to try the 4 Khan Academy practice problems. And when you are done, please complete the Edulastic review. And if you need a nice summary before you start Edulastic, please take a look at this video. So I want to thank you for trying these activities. Again, I am looking for exposure and engagement, not mastery. Slope-intercept form is something that you will explore again in the fall when we return to school. Thank you for all your efforts this last term together. I truly appreciate it. I miss you, and I look forward to seeing you in the fall. Please come back and visit me. All right, thanks again, and have a great day.